Welcome back, everyone. We're here today with our Total Wellness Tuesday episode 2286. If you want to check out the 3 main takeaways that I give every single day on the podcast, as well as any scientific-based notations and research, I'll leave that over today at stephencabral.com/2286. But today we're going to be talking about how just 10 minutes of NSDR is helping people to rejuvenate. So I'm actually a huge fan of this. It's something that I've been doing since about 2012 when I opened my second location in Boston, Massachusetts. It was a very large wellness-based facility. We were the first ones in Boston doing large-scale practice for functional medicine, integrative health, integrating Ayurvedic-based principles. We had an infrared sauna back in the day. We have all these, Ayurvedic-based massage techniques, Abhyanga, etc. Absolutely amazing. And then, of course, many of you know, we took that practice completely virtual in 2019 or so, like right around 2019, 2020. Really look back fondly on those days of having multiple locations in Boston, helping well over 20,000 people per year, a lot of people coming from out of the state as well, to come and visit and do lab work, in-office-based appointments, and a lot of the in-office testing that I used to do as well with electron microscopy and much more. But really, the reason why I bring this story up specifically is that it was so crazy. Like, it was so busy and so crazy that I had to begin to, even, again, for myself, I've studied this for so many years, but I had to begin implementing many more of these techniques in order to be able just to deal with the sheer level of stress of running a practice that large. And it wasn't that I didn't love my work, because I loved my work, just I love my work today. But again, I had dozens of employees, thousands of appointments per month, two facilities, one brand new. I had a daughter being born the same year that I opened that second facility. So it was like working around the clock, but I was doing that for a greater good, for a greater purpose that I believed for what I wanted to share with the world. And it all worked out, and everything was great, but especially during those first 2 years, whenever you're starting up a brand new business as well, and you're trying to get that out to everybody, and at the same time hire your team as you can, because it's all self-funded, and you're just trying to make everything work from every different angle, and also be there for your wife and for your children, and it was a lot. So all this to say is that I had to incorporate a deeper meditation or de-stress based protocol of my own at that time in my life. And so what I did is I began to rely on a 20 to 30 minute, what is called non-sleep deep rest. We didn't call it like that back in the day. I'll explain what that is in a moment. Right after lunchtime. So I would just work from sunup to sundown every day, like many people know, whenever you start a brand new business. And that's what it was. Even though it was what I loved doing and it was a shared mission, I invested everything I had into this location. I knew exactly what I wanted to be doing. I knew that these are the people that I wanted to be serving. I knew that I loved Boston, Massachusetts, and I wanted to do my part and give back and make this work. So the problem was it was just so much. And so what I had to do eventually was I created a 90-minute block midday that was me leaving the office. Like, I literally had to leave my wellness center, because I would get there around 6:37 in the morning, and I would get home around 6:37 at night. And so this minimum of 60 minutes, maximum of 90 minutes allowed me to step away. Now, I'm not going to have you do the whole 60 to 90 minute step away, but what it did was it created 2 separate days for me. And so after I completed what I did, I'm going to give you my exact protocol, 26 minutes. After I completed that, I felt like it was a brand new day. Literally, I felt like it was a brand new day. My mood changed. My happiness improved. I had more energy, and I was looking forward to then getting right back into working with my team, answering questions, answering all the different hardships of starting a business, and then, of course, working with my own private wellness clients, because I would see 40 hours of appointments a week, and then I would do 40 hours of other work a week. And this really non-sleep deep rest, which means that non-sleep deep rest means that, and this is a term coined by Andrew Huberman, probably like maybe 2 years ago or so. But again, I didn't know that term because Andrew Huberman wasn't as big as he is now as a neuroscientist, but relying on again, ancient Ayurvedic wisdom that's been around for 6,000 years, and also looking at different practices, whether it be Tibetan monks, Buddhist monks, etc., that they've used for thousands of years, and in forms of traditional Chinese medicine as well. So all you are doing is you are finding a way to quiet your mind and body for 10 minutes to 20 minutes a day. And it just doesn't seem like much. That's the problem. I think that's why most of us don't do a meditative-based practice. And I'm going to share with you that mine's a little bit different. But I think the reason we don't is because it just doesn't seem like it could make that big a difference. But I'm here to tell you today that it does. That it can be game-changing for stress, for rejuvenation, for your overall health, your energy, and so much more. And again, you can look at your hormones, like all of these things matter. So this is what it does. It allows you to slow down your thought process, slow down the brain wave frequency, and enables both your body and your brain to start to rest in a much deeper and restorative state where rejuvenation can then take place, healing can then take place. Now, I mentioned Ayurveda multiple times now. Well, in Ayurveda, they have a practice called Yoga Nidra. Yoga Nidra, which is Nidra, is a really good example of non-sleep deep rest, of NSDR. And in Yoga Nidra, some people say there's 5 stages, many people say there's 8 stages and beyond. But what you're doing is you're actually getting in touch, away from your mind and away from your thoughts, to different parts of the body. And you're kind of cycling through a couple dozen to 61 different points in your body that is basically a guided meditation. And you're nasal breathing, or you're at least breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth, or in through your nose and out through your nose, enabling you to turn on the parasympathetic nervous system. And there's many advanced breathing techniques, which I've gone over some in the past. I'll certainly go over more in the future as well. But what it's doing is it is actually then calming your stress hormones, cortisol, stress neurotransmitters like norepinephrine, calming dopamine, and really allowing for more of the neurotransmitters like serotonin and GABA for relaxation to begin to set in. I've done, again, many advanced protocols. I've spoken about this in the past with neural calm and all sorts of different systems. But what I did was this, very simply put. I would walk every single day to the local Whole Foods in Boston. So my nutrition and exercise personal training center was in the South End. And then my wellness center was in the Back Bay. So I'd spend most of my time at the wellness center, and I would walk to the Whole Foods in the South End, right on Harrison. And what I would do is I would just get lunch there, and I would get it at the hot bar, or I would get some other type of healthy lunch. Very, very simple. I ate pretty much the same things every single day. And then I would eat it there. Okay. So I just took my mind out of it. It would probably take 10 minutes to walk there. And then I would eat, and maybe that whole thing would take 15 minutes, and then I would walk back. Okay. Another 10 minutes or so. So that's like 35 minutes, 40 minutes out of my routine. And again, what would I do? Well, on that walk, which is part of my NSDR, I would have to turn off the outside world, because there was always more emails, there were always more phone calls, there was always more of everything. So during this time, I said, this is the way that I'm going to, be able to work the hours that I'm working and enjoy my life as well. So I would put on binaural beats. And many people have heard me talk about this before, but binaural beats was simply a way for me to calm brain wave frequency and slow the thought process. And then I would just go back to my breath. Excuse me. So I'd focus on nasal-based breathing, and my walk was very calming. When I was in Whole Foods, sure, there was hundreds of people, but I went about my business. I simply got my lunch, I sat down in a relaxed manner, and I would continue to listen to binaural beats, or I would put on something enjoyable for a YouTube video or a podcast that I enjoyed. And I did that every single day, Monday through Friday. I would walk back, and then this is where I would do my specific NSDR. So I would set my timer on my phone for exactly 26 minutes. And then I would put on a meditation, or I would simply put on my binaural beats. And then what I would do is, because the most important part of this is essentially turning off the brain, right? Turning off all the thoughts. I always found that if I had the ability to open my eyes, if I had the ability to hear anything, then that would distract me. So if I'm in my office, there's a million things going on, but I can close the shades of my glass door in my office, and I put on my binaural beats or my meditation, and I put on an eye mask. And I've given recommendations for my eye masks. All these recommendations, by the way, are at stephencabral.com/resources. And I would put on an eye mask that was one of those comfortable eye masks. I still have one to this day. I would put on binaural beats, and then I would lay on a PEMF mat. Now, back in 2012, I didn't have a PEMF mat. I had a acupressure mat, and I think I have one of those linked up as well. But then, not too many years later, I also got a PEMF mat. So now I'm doing heat for relaxation for the body from the PEMF mat, or the acupressure mat, which is kind of like overall sensation for your entire back. And I would just rest and relax. I set it for 26 minutes. Why? Because it would take me 5 or 6 minutes just to like breathe through my nose and relax enough to calm down to then be able to get in that 20-minute nap. And that's all it is. Like, it wouldn't really necessarily fall into a deep sleep or anything like that, but be completely relaxed. And then when a gentle timer went off, I would very slowly move my way out of it. And so that whole thing, again, is 26 minutes. I would take my lunch out of the office. Again, I talked about the walk. So this whole thing is a maximum 60 to 90 minutes. Now, you might not have 60 to 90 minutes. I totally understand that. But most people can eat their lunch in, 20 minutes or so, and they could do half hour, 30 minutes of exactly what I'm talking about, or maybe even 20 minutes. And I'm telling you right now, between my getting out of the office, getting a little, well, I can't say it's fresh air in Boston, but it's city air, but getting some natural sunlight, by changing my environment, by putting on binaural beats, by laying on an PEMF mat or a acupressure mat, and by putting on that eye mask, I'm getting sensory deprivation from audio, from outside voices in the world. My eyes are closed with the eye mask on. I'm getting a relaxation sensory, meaning like you could do this in a float tank, of course. This is different. If you had to probably go, not too many people have their own float tank. Or you could be in a sauna and you're experiencing then that relaxation from the heat. Cold is not relaxing, but heat can be. And this enables you to really switch into a deeper, more inward state where the mind is less active. And if you do this, again, I recommend midday, but you can do this any time of the day. You could start your day this way if you want. It begins to enable you to handle more. And so what I found was that I would absolutely have burned out during those years if I did not find a way to create more resiliency, because the work didn't change. I changed. I was better able to handle the sheer stress of running a wellness-based practice, 40 hours per week, plus 40 hours of managing 2 locations and teams and all that. And then again, I got better during the years at being able to better delegate and hire great managers for the locations. And a lot of things were automated. There's no doubt about it. But, in the beginning, sometimes there is just work. Like you just have to do the work. And sometimes the work is more than other times. And so what I've realized is that you can't work more than you can work, because you have to be able to recover. You don't want to burn out, because then you're not good for anybody else. So maybe, and again, I haven't been at that scale to where I was back then, and my life doesn't have that level of stress anymore, but sometimes we have it. So what I'm saying is, maybe you don't even do this for your entire life, but maybe there are points in your life where stress is very high. And if stress is very high, maybe you could carve out 10 minutes. Maybe you carve out 20 minutes to put on an eye mask, to put on some binaural beats or meditation or a yoga nidra meditation. And you can begin just to breathe through your nose and out through your mouth. Maybe you can lie on a PMF mat, or maybe you can just, again, put a nice comfortable towel on the ground so that you are in a relaxed state, as relaxed as humanly possible. And you can take 20 minutes out of your day in order to be able to then have the best second half of your day possible. Sometimes it's nice. A lot of people that I work with in my practice, they might go to pick up their kids around 2 o'clock or 2:30 or so. Well, they may do this directly after lunch, or maybe around 1:30, where they do it for 20 minutes. They center themselves for now their next part of the day, which is not their time anymore, but rather their family's time. And if they take this time to simply step back, to quiet this mind for all of the different things that we have to accomplish in this life, well, they're feeling that much better. So not only do they benefit, because again, it seems selfish that you take 20 minutes to yourself, but honestly, here's the thing. For myself and many people that I've taught this to, that if you take a little time for yourself and you can calm your own mind, you can bring back a little bit of the energy from the outside world into you, you're going to be better for everybody else. There's just no doubt about it. So hopefully today's show was helpful. I really believe that this can transform many people's lives. And if I can help answer any additional questions on this topic, I'd be happy to. All of my recommended resources are at stephencabral.com/resources, all the amazing companies that I believe in. And of course, if you want free meditations and you want free binaural beats, you can check out our brand new app over at Equalife. And that's simply by going to equi.life, EQUI.life/app, and you can check out those free meditations and free binaural beats as well. Take care, everyone. Have an amazing rest of the day.